HorrorDeconstruction.
What's up, everybody? It's the HorrorDeconstruction. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, but most likely on YouTube. Give us a like, share, and subscribe with your host, Komp and
A.T. Walker.
as well as
Thea.
today's film is
V/H/S/94.
VHS 94, 2021. A police SWAT team investigates. Who the
It's
fuck
made in
wrote-
2021, by
Listen
the way.
Listen to this. A police SWAT team investigates about a mysterious VHS tape and discovers a sinister cult that has pre-recorded material which uncovers a nightmarish conspiracy. Who the fuck wrote that? Who wrote
Is that what happened? I didn't even catch that.
No. I'm just saying. Listen to what it says. It says investigates about a mysterious.
Yeah,
What
it's
the
not
fuck
great.
is that? Anyway, very good.
Maybe English isn't their first language. I don't know.
Directed by Simon Barrett, who did The Empty Wake. Stephen Kostansky, who did the Veggie Master, I guess. His own fucking. Chloe Okuno, who did Storm Drain. Ryan Prowse, who did Terror.
Veggie Master.
Jennifer Reeder. It's the fucking commercial. Like it's.
It's the fake commercials.
I saw it and I was like, what was
Oh.
the point? I saw it and I was
Really?
like, there's no.
Okay, I
there's
actually
no
enjoyed
point to
that
that.
commercial. I have
Yeah,
to
I
be
liked
honest.
it. Yeah.
You two of you are out of your mind. Jennifer Reeder, who did Holy Hell, and Timo Tangento who did The Subject. So it's written by Jennifer Reeder, Chloe Okuno, Simon Barrett, Ryan Prowse, blah 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 blah. All these people. Let me get a little cast. Who gives a shit about the cast? Excuse me. Anna
There's
Hopkins,
people.
Christian Pozenza, Brian Paul, Tim Campbell, Gina Phillips, and a whole bunch of other people. So Danny, no, actually it's Thea, because Thea picked
I did.
VHS 94 because I realized this is Danny and Thea's time of the month. So why did you pick VHS 94, Thea?
Because I'm a completist.
Why?
And a loser.
We love you.
I was curious, and I wanted to force you to watch it too.
Boy, oh boy, is that
That's
right?
popcorn that you're hearing.
I think we saw VHS 1 with mixed reviews.
Yep.
We saw VHS 2 with even more mixed reviews. I think VHS 2 fared better because
I don't
it
even
had-
Yes.
remember it.
it had a cult scene. You know the cult one with
Oh, where
the,
they're flying, right?
No,
Weren't
the
they
cult-
like flying into the sky or something?
What is this guy talking about? No, that's part 1. That's with the character, the Banshee or whatever she is. The one that we saw
No, not
was
that.
spin-off
Not
movie.
that. People were like in a cult, and then they were going levitating into the sky.
All right, very good.
Hard
I'm
to
sure
say.
You're mixing, I think you're mixing it up with.
Oh, Slumber Party Alien
ABCs of
Abduction.
Death.
That isn't that one, I think.
Okay,
But
so-
they weren't in a
Oh,
cult,
look
I don't
at
think.
me!
I don't think they were in a cult, though. I think it was
Oh,
just
so they
that
were in a
got
cult, Danny? Oh,
abducted.
no, they were in a whatever. So the second one I liked because it had the whole cult, the Asian cult one where they gave birth to
Oh,
the
that one was
Antichrist or something.
cool.
Yeah,
That
that
was
was
good.
cool.
But anyway,
And
part
the third
three,
one was the one where they were skateboarding
Oh.
in Mexico or something for
Part
like a
three
long
was-
time.
Part 3 was horrendous.
I do
Like,
remember liking bits of it, but yeah.
all I know
Well,
is
that's
they
the
had
thing. There's always
Go ahead.
there's always
Just a little
something
bit.
in it that's interesting because it's 4 or 5 different directors. So there's
Yeah.
always something in it that's like, oh, okay, I'm glad I saw that. At
So
least
part-
you'll get one good piece at least.
Part 3 had a sequence with dueling magicians, and I was so offended at how bad that was because it ended with I still didn't remember what she says, but she uses like one of those corny catchphrases before she
God.
kills the evil magician. I was like, I don't want to watch this no more. I wasn't even going to suggest this movie ever, but Thea, of course, had to fuck up my week.
I'm sorry.
You know what was a better series in my opinion? ABCs of Death. I would love
Yes.
if they did another one.
Remember that fantastic Ty West?
That was terrible.
one?
The miscarriage one. Yeah, that was.
They
bad.
gave 26 directors $5,000 each to make a short film, and I prefer ABCs of Death over VHS films because they came out at similar time. But Ty West did one I think for part 1. What was I think about a woman
No, it
having
was the
a
second one, I believe, and it was
It
terrible.
was Emma's for
I
Miscarriage.
don't know that I've
think
seen
it was.
the second one. Have I?
Um,
Maybe I did.
um,
There's the one where they're jerking off in this like weird prison thing, and they have to jerk off faster than the other person. Or
Yeah, I remember that one too.
That sounds
But yeah,
vaguely familiar.
the ABCs of Death movies are fucking real. At least
I think
you
I did
get
the first one
variety.
with you guys. I think.
Yeah, no, I think you did.
Those
both
are
of them,
great
actually.
movies because you get 26 shots at a good movie.
It's
so
wild,
some of them
yeah.
suck, but you'll get at least like 10 good ones.
I think with mostly anthology films, Thea's always on with us just to do these episodes. So I'm pretty sure you did that. I think we only.
Which
did,
is why I'm
love
forcing you to do
anthology
this.
I think Danny and I unfortunately did. What was that movie? The Tales from the Hood Part 2, which
Oh, that was so good.
be great.
I did
for
not
me.
do
So-
that one.
So back to VHS 94. I never thought I'd see it, but you know what? I wasn't completely offended with this film. I thought I would.
There you go.
But it
Same.
ended strong. I thought it ended stronger.
You thought that ending was good?
Not the
Not the wraparound.
wraparound
Not the
story.
Oh,
The
thank
wraparound
God.
story.
Okay, yeah, no, the
The
ending
wraparound
of-
story is the worst of
Yeah,
this
that was
fucking
the worst.
film.
The
thing
wraparound
ever.
story is a little lazy.
So Thea, what's the wraparound story?
So it's like a SWAT team. So I guess it starts with a woman who inhales this vapor or something, and then there's this substance on her hands, and later the same woman.
I telling this, I thought she had she was sniffing semen.
Maybe.
I thought she had semen in her.
I mean,
hand.
it
thought
looked like
was trying
that.
to be- I thought it was trying to be fucking edgy. Just sniffing cum.
And later you see the woman with her eyes gouged out. She counts down from 10 as another woman passes behind her. And then we follow for most of the wraparound, a SWAT team that's going into this warehouse where people have their eyes gouged out and are dead all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the movie will subsequently go into these screens, these television screens with snow on it, and then it'll introduce the thing. Horrible fucking.
The
stupid,
acting at the
pointless
end,
shit.
the last one.
Unbelievable. How
It
bad
was
that
like,
fucking
whoa,
is.
this is like the worst I've ever seen.
I'm like, this is a movie. I'm like, this is a movie, right? I'm like, these people know that they're
I
in front
could
of a
have
camera
done
talking,
better than
right?
that. Like,
Well, it just didn't
But-
have anything that exciting to me as like a wraparound. I think we've seen better wraparounds in this series
Absolutely.
even. So
yeah, for sure.
so this one was a little bit
the
disappointing.
VHS look actually pretty good for it. Like it looked, like,
Wraparounds
dirty and
in
cringy.
most anthology movies tend to be the weakest. It's weird. It's always the case.
It's a hard thing to do because because there's such big stretches that you're going without sort of tying the story together. It has to be something sort of memorable
Yeah, I
or
guess that's
not.
true.
And they do try to tie it at the end, and I didn't even recognize the fucking same actor. I was like,
No,
who
neither
gives
did
a
I.
fuck? By then, I was like, okay, you guys have just sullied any fucking,
We've got like
goodness
four
of
of
that last
these that are mostly
Okay, so
bad.
Danny, get into the first story. Let's go to the first
The
story.
first one was
Do
the
it.
storm drain one, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, let me just start by saying that the main reporter lady is ridiculously hot. So I'm giving a
Sexist
positive. I'm giving
pig.
a positive to start off.
A+.
A plus. I want to start with the positives, to start on a good note.
She sort of reminded me, now that I think about it, this actress who, I don't know if you've ever seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show. Giles had this girlfriend who was like a witch or something like that, or
The teacher?
Yeah, that lady went on to, I guess, have a Christian resurgence in her life, and now she
Oh, God.
made a very popular anti-abortion film that people love, and it had a
Oh.
false ending of like. Anyway, so she was hot, but not anymore.
And now
with
she's
that fucking
crazy.
movie.
Now her brain
Yes, she's
is
crazy.
rotten, so she's no longer hot.
Oh, God.
So what happened in the stupid storm drain?
There's a Rat Man. There's a legend of a guy named Rat Man. So she wants to cover it and go into the storm drain, and of course they go too deep into the storm drain and get kidnapped by this, weird guy that's in there.
A covenant of bums. Yeah, I didn't realize that was the same preacher, I guess, who was in front
Yes,
of the
off
church
the
in
top.
the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then there was
They cast him well though. He's a creep for sure.
Yeah, yeah. They introduce a guy with a big gun. They usually say have a good guy with a gun there, and they don't use him. So I don't know what the fucking point of that character was, just to have him wait outside the thing. Very boring, very repetitive. I'm sorry to step over. I'm sure you guys have different takes on it.
I like the
Monster
rat
was
monk.
great. I thought the monster looked good.
What was your favorite parts of this, Thea?
I liked the monster. I mean, it was very simple, but I didn't mind how simple and straightforward it was. Like it is pretty paint by the numbers, like found footage. A journalist goes in to investigate something, and then something bad happens, and then the exact thing she was investigating kills her, or whatever.
I thought it was cool that the black goo either burns you to death or makes you part of the whatever the fuck
The
that
initiating
is.
goo.
It's a little goofy.
It's very goofy.
You would think the
But I
goo
like
would
that.
make you would think the goo would make everybody turn, instead of just
Well,
you're
no,
not evil,
but
you're not
the
evil
demon
enough.
recognized how ridiculously hot this woman was.
That's
and
right.
wanted to
He was
be on
like,
her
"You'll be
team.
useful."
So did it think all those other bums were as hot or something, and they were
Maybe.
they were sexy enough?
Maybe that's what he's into.
Yeah,
Bums
that's
or
true.
beautiful women. That's it.
Who am I to judge? Who
I
am I to
mean,
assume?
not
they're sexual?
everyone has like a specific type. Some people like old weird men that are creepy, and also really hot reporters.
There you
There
go.
you go, a little column A, a little column
And
B.
who are we to judge?
So it ends with her on the on set, I guess, taking over the job for the other reporter that was like 5 seconds earlier there. Great. I will say that was a great effect when she melts off that.
Oh, that was a good face melt.
Yeah, that was
anchor's
good.
Face. Fantastic. The best part of that piece of shit.
It was just it was just a stupid, hollow story, but there were parts of it I liked.
It was enjoyable.
It had a good potential.
Yeah.
But they didn't use it. Like all that time talking in front of that cave, they could have just had her running through the cave for the most
And
part.
the alien, the monster looked very much like alien design. Like the actual alien, the HR guy.
It was like a person's face. Like if you put the front of a person's face on like an alligator's mouth, like it was stretched out. It looked cool. But other than that, I thought it was fucking pointless. What rating would you give the storm drain, Danny?
I'd give it a 6.5 out of 10. Melting off your coworker's face after you say the name of a demon casually in conversation.
So, Thea, what rating would you give the storm drain?
I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10, not wanting to go in a storm drain and then reluctantly going into a storm drain for your job, for the Pulitzer, for the Nobel, or whatever the fuck you were trying to get.
I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Having what did he have? He had a AR-15 standing in front of a big storm drain, hearing people scream, but going, it's okay. So our next I don't even know why I'm bringing this up, but the Veggie Masher, because I'm sure you guys love this.
So that I didn't realize that was its own segment.
We don't have to give it a long segment, but it's 10 out of 10.
Well, would you? Okay, here's the question: would you buy it? Yes. What about you, Thea?
Yes.
Alex?
I wish I hadn't even seen the fucking segment. That's how stupid it was for me. It was like I don't know if you ever seen this. There's this movie that's found footage called WNUF Special. It's like a Halloween movie, but it's like you're watching Saturday Night Live. It's pretty cool, and a lot of it is like is made up footage, but also fake footage. Real footage of the '90s. WNUF Saturday Night Special, I think so. It's a horror movie, but you should check it out. It's pretty, and that's what it reminded me, because 90% of that movie was this kind of shit, but it was funnier and more realistic. But anyway, I don't give a fuck about that.
So you would not purchase.
I did not enjoy it. And
you're allowed to be wrong.
Who's the slap chop guy?
Slap chop guy. Yeah.
So that guy,
obviously, they could have just hired that guy.
I remember that guy got this big scandal because he got into a fist fight with like a prostitute.
He beat up a sex worker in his apartment.
Yeah, she bit his tongue and he hit her in the eye, and there's a mugshot of both of them with swollen faces.
There's a lot.
And then he referenced it in his next product. He
sure did.
Vaguely referenced life being bad. Like he made a very subtle reference to it. It was very funny.
He's the director of probably some of the worst films ever created. He did the Inappropriate movie, which had actually Oscar winner Adrian Brody playing a gay.
What?
A stereotypically gay detective named Harry.
Designed by the guy that did Slapshot?
Named Harry Potter.
Yeah, he did a movie. Not Harry Potter, but he's like saying stuff like "your shorts are mine." Like he's just like inappropriately trying to have sex with every guy in the scene. But anyway, yeah. So he was, and Lindsay Lohan doing the who's that famous actress that died of a drug overdose because she fucked JFK, Marilyn Monroe. So Lindsay Lohan is standing on top of a storm drain. And you know how they do the wind blowing up her skirt? So, and I bet you she did not know this was going to be done after. But the slap chop guy is underneath this grate in the sewer. And then just like tons of, I assume, female goo is just splattering him on the face.
Oh my God.
And that's the joke of the movie.
What? What is this?
It's the worst garbage you've ever seen. Anyway, back to this movie. Our next short is what?
Thea.
The Empty Wake, right? The Empty Wake.
The Empty Wake. Sorry, I'm recovering. Written and directed by Simon Barrett.
By the way, people call that gruel, and I think that's the most disgusting phrase. But back to the film.
I want to die.
What is the Empty Wake about, Thea?
The Empty Wake is about a young woman named Haley who's assigned to host a wake for a man named Andrew Edwards. Her boss and an assistant leave the building for the night, explaining that they're away, and she has to sort of handle it on her own. So there's a storm going on outside, and she's left alone and starts hearing strange noises from the casket.
And the clients want her to keep videotaping the whole night, correct?
The entire night.
One guy comes in and he starts saying some mumbo jumbo shit. Then he leaves, and the poor girl is locked in because I guess the guy chained her into the room. Garbage.
What?
Garbage.
God, you guys are tough critics.
I didn't say a thing, but I didn't like it either.
What did you guys think of the Empty Wake?
I don't know. Thea seems to have loved it.
I liked
so
it.
Thea, tell us.
I didn't love it. I liked it. I thought it was pretty good.
Great effect
I don't
on the
know,
guy
man.
with half. Great effect on the guy with half a face, though.
Yeah,
I like
very
that.
good.
But I felt like it was nothing going. It was nothing.
It was just pointless.
Like the idea, obviously, being stuck inside of a funeral home with fucking a gigantic tornado happening outside or whatever it was. Great, fantastic. But they're stuck in the POV, style, which I think fucks it up because it's like, oh shit, oh no, the walls are shaking. Oh, this casket might have moved.
Also, if you're running from a zombie, are you really gonna? I know that with found footage, you have to, the camera's a little. You have to suspend your disbelief. But would you really be running with a camera from a zombie, like into a different room?
Because they always say that's for the light, so they can see.
She
where they're
couldn't
going.
see,
Come
yeah,
on.
that's why.
But
it's like
we have Oh no, it's 94. You're right. Okay, maybe.
the actors are all good in it, so I'm not taking it away from them. The main actress was fine. The monster design was cool. The other guy saying his mumbo jumbo was fine, but it seems like it felt like such a waste of fucking time. Like 90% of it was her sitting down getting spooked out by shit, and it was just like, okay, show me the monsters. I want to see monsters. Give me monsters.
Okay,
Enough
so
of
you
this bullshit.
went into something wanting a very specific thing, and when it wasn't that specific thing, you didn't like it.
No, I was.
I like
into
this.
to
I
see
like
some.
this criticism.
I
Yeah.
came in
Anyway.
to see something. I came in to see something good, and I got garbage.
We thought we were.
I
gonna
thought
do
it
the
was
movie,
creepy.
and instead
I
we're
enjoyed it.
reviewing Alex.
What is your
I
review?
could not get into it. My rating, I would give this one a 3 out of 12.
Oh my god.
Wanting to leave a place, but the fucker from before locked it up for you without letting you out. Danny, what rating would you give The Empty Wake?
I give it a 5 out of 10. You're successfully getting away from this zombie until its eye head sees you and calls over its body.
Thea, what rating would you give The Empty Wake?
I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Being creeped out on your own, as a.
So this leads.
We did
us
a
to
2
our,
separations for each one.
Mm-hmm.
This leads us to our next film, short film in this project called The Subject. So what is The Subject about, Thea?
The subject is about people that wake up basically in this laboratory being made into mechanical monsters by a crazy scientist.
Seems
What
like a good
country
guy.
is he?
Indonesia.
Indonesia. Okay, good.
Mhm.
Thank you. Yes, he's a director of a lot of. Oh shit! I didn't know he directed this. He directed Oh shit! He did the segment that we liked in VHS too.
Yeah.
The
That was a cult one, right?
the cult.
Okay,
one, you
maybe
know?
that's what I recognized him from, because I definitely recognized the main doctor guy.
Okay.
He might have been in the cult one too. I'm
He
not
looked
sure.
recognizable too, but I didn't know from where else. But he's actually done a couple of films that I've seen. He's done VHS too. He did this great.
Well,
fucking movie called.
didn't he direct the one with the school with the the monsters in the second one? Didn't he direct it with this?
Jesus Christ!
What?
That's what we said. Yeah.
That's the one
No,
we
no,
mean.
not that.
No, that's not what. You're not letting me finish. Didn't
Okay,
he
go ahead,
direct it
then.
with another person? He co-directed
Yes,
it.
he did
Okay.
Okay.
with Gareth Evans.
Okay.
Okay, so Gareth
the-
Evans is the guy who
the
did
Raid,
Raid and all that
yeah.
stuff. But yeah, so he did. I think it was called Safe Haven. That's what I'm
Yes.
looking at. He did L is for Libido in ABC's.
That's
Death, which
that's
I
the
think I
best one.
liked.
That's the one I just talked about.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
masturbating.
He also did Headshot, which was an action movie, which was really fun. He did a really good serial killer horror movie, or he worked on it. Let me see, what did he do? Killers from 2014, which is a movie I think we should review sometime down the road. That has two.
I don't like
separate,
movies with violence in them. I'm sorry.
It's about two separate serial killers hunting each other down. It's a fucking good movie, really good movie. But anyway, so what is this? This story is about these two people who are unfortunately under the scalpel of a psychotic man who's trying to, I guess, merge cybernetics with human beings.
Mm-hmm.
It's my favorite segment of this film. obviously because at least it's trying something different, and it feels like there's a beginning, middle, and end to the story. It has decent effects for its case. It's not following the 1994 camera rules, that's for sure, because this is high definition like a motherfucker. There's no camera that looks like this, whatever they fucking used in this
he
movie
is
in
a
1990s.
scientist. If he could make people robots, he could
That's
probably
true.
make
I
a
guess
good
you know what?
camera.
I guess you're right. He could go beyond 6K, as you can see. That's a very. I'm sure Jeff Bezos saw this back in 1994.
What were they at back then? It was like how many pixels were in the digital
1080.
cameras they had?
1080 at most, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Jeez, or
Sure.
2K maybe. But anyway, so we were looking at first we were looking at a standard camera inside the room where this crazy doctor is working on a woman that they called SA for some reason when I saw the subtitles. And then they have this other guy who's on the table, and what he's doing, he's essentially recombobulating these people and putting machinery on their head where their brains are, he just take a piece of their brain and put it into these new bodies. He's not really specific about why he's doing all this shit. But it leads to some cops coming in.
He might have good
killing them.
intentions. I mean, he's being judged harshly.
The cops come in and they blast him into smithereens, and they get stuck with these machines, these people machines inside of this room, and it becomes this quasi-action film. If you've seen the movie called Henry Hardcore or Hardcore Henry, which I thought was actually
didn't we watch that?
No, we didn't. I saw it. I don't know if you saw it, but it was a really good film. We didn't. I don't think we reviewed it,
Okay.
but it's a very good, fun POV film. I recommend if you're a jogger or a runner at a gym, go watch Hardcore Henry. Your running will fucking go tenfold. So it's a POV action sequence. And this poor I felt bad for the main character. We never hear her really talk besides don't or stuff like that. There are 3 primary antagonists. It gives you 3 primary antagonists for the price of 1, which is the doctor, the other guy who has his head replaced with a machine, and his hand is like some sort of fucking large, like a knife or sort of
Yeah,
like
that was cool.
And then we have the police guy, who I don't think is necessarily a bad guy, but I think so he's he is trying to kill her because he thinks she's an abomination.
Yeah.
And what did you guys think about this? Just over generalization. What did you think of it?
Thea.
It was cool. I enjoyed it.
Very succinct.
Danny?
I liked it. It was a little goofy, but I did enjoy it a lot.
Yeah, it was over the top. It had very good art direction to it, very good production design to it. I think it had.
it was a lot better than the other 2 that were before it.
Yeah, it had a really good production design to it, like just the setup of the lab and all the gore and guts and everything. And I legitimately got creeped out when the main character was walking through and you heard a girl saying hello, hello. You hear that voice?
Or it was like a little boy or something, wasn't it?
It was. I think it was somebody's head in a jar.
Yeah.
And they had like a red eye, and I was like, whoa! Like I was like, this is fucked up.
It was creepy.
It led to a sort of satisfying conclusion. I felt bad for the camera guy who was a cop who like helped her get out of there because he got really fucked.
Yeah.
And we ended up seeing her, vanishing. So it was sort of a quasi happy ending. I don't know how happy an ending it is, but
She's definitely going to be killed in the real world.
But at least she got out.
It lives up to a horror. Like, just the whole idea of it is fucking horror and body horror and shit like that. So it gives you a whole bunch of genres mashed up into one. And obviously this director knows what he's doing. I really fucking like this segment. So that's why you hear me awake now talking about it. What rating would you give this segment of the film, Thea?
I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Grabbing a machine gun and putting it on your
half
arm.
a point above the funeral one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't love body horror. It's not my thing. I'm not. It
Fine.
wasn't. I don't like it as much. I'm sorry.
Fine, Thea.
Danny, what rating would you give?
Thea, I interrupted her. Let her finish.
No, I finished.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Danny, what rating would you give the subject?
A 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, very good.
8.5 out of 10. You're a very hideous robot monster, but you're free, and maybe you'll have sex in the future with some kind of person who's okay with that.
See, I'm not so disgusting now, am I? I'll give it a 9 out of 10. Having a dude save your life but then he ends up answering to the knife. Oh shit, I'm a rapper.
Whoa.
So that leads us to the final segment of the film, which is, I believe, Terror, right? Is that
Terror.
That's the one.
Terror, directed by, written by Ryan Prowse, and I believe directed by Ryan Prowse. Yeah. So give us the setup for this one, Thea.
This one is an extremist group known as the First Patriots Movement Militia are plotting to blow up a government building and take back America. They live in a compound in Detroit, Michigan, and you find out that in this compound they have hidden some kind of beast or something that they're going to unleash on shitty people they don't like.
Yeah.
Are they shitty people?
They're not shitty people. They're people they don't like, and these are extremists, and they're shitty people themselves.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried watching this because I was like, are they gonna make like supremacists and good guys in this? Which I guess you could.
Well, they're trying to take down America. Supremacists are all about supporting America. So these are crazy bad people.
No, well, I wouldn't know about that, but like I think what I was like, it was I felt like it was gonna go into the territory of Under the Skin. Remember where an attempted rapist was the hero of the movie?
Oh god.
And then they set fire.
Yeah, right, because an attempted rapist couldn't find an entryway. He ended up killing the monster instead. And that's how they were like, oh, he's a hero, but I guess not. I guess you still see that guy's a scumbag. Which I thought what this was going to be, I was like, oh no, they're going to make... Because I didn't know what they were doing. Once I saw that they kept killing the same guy over and over.
Even though their motives might be different, these people are very much exactly what would happen if, like, those January 6 people found a vampire.
Yeah.
I'm positive.
Yeah.
And it was interesting that it went that way, because I knew there was vampires in this film. I wasn't sure where they were.
Right.
But I thought that it worked for this, where the blood was very explosive when exposed to sunlight. Because I had no idea what they were going up to. Like,
that
when they
was
said,
new. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I mean, there's plenty of vampires
using
exploding
a vampire
as
a bomb. I don't.
As a weapon, yeah. No, that's great. That's a great idea because they actually made the blood of it like violent towards other people. Like once we usually see vampires explode, it's not it's just the vampire that explodes.
Yeah.
But I thought that's a great idea. It was such a cool idea, and I was almost like, oh shit, I would have liked to seen it actually happen. But it does happen in the film. They made the supremacists bumbling enough, but I guess not likable enough or funny enough. I guess it depends on who's watching. I'm sure there was supremacists that
they're pretty
cried at the end
unlikable.
of the movie. Supremacists that actually watched this and were crying by the end of it.
You keep calling them supremacists. They're extremists.
Extremists. Well, these are guys. Yeah, I guess you're right. These are guys that.
There's nothing about race in here. They're just crazy. That's all.
Well, they do say
they just
like
loves the guns.
They say stuff like black cancer at the beginning, which I was like,
do they?
What's that mean? Yeah, they do.
Oh,
and and at the end, because they care about the Waco people.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of
idolize
the Waco people.
Waco,
yeah, right.
But they were like basically.
And there was a lot of people that got turned on by that whole instance. Obviously, like the guy who did I forget what the name of that fucking guy that blew up a building full of children.
Timothy McVeigh.
McVeigh, right? And that's even referenced in this because they say there's a ward with children inside of it, and even the guy was like, like that part. Yeah. But I actually liked this segment a lot. I thought it was done really well. I almost wanted to see more of the film. I
wish I would have heard more about their plan. Like, were they going to fill up a bunch of rabbits and mail them to the White House or something?
No, I think what happened is that they were collecting the blood of that guy the self-sacrificing vampire, and they were going to put it in like a big jar and just let it explode in sunlight at the building. I think that's what their whole plan was.
They're going to sneak it into that building that they look at in the beginning, yeah.
And then when sunlight hit it, it would just explode and, I guess, blow up all those people inside, as opposed to getting caught for finding bombs and shit like that. I didn't like... I thought the idea for the vampire was cool, but it was obviously just a rip-off of Del Toro's vampires from, like, Blade and shit. Where their bottom jaw opens up.
Well, that's the third one. With the dog. I remember the dog, the little pom-pom.
No, it was in the second film.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah, Danny. Where do you think they came? Anyway, so then there was, like, so that's what it was. I just didn't like his look, the vampire's look, I was like, this is Del Toro's shit. They just made it cheaper or something like that.
Right.
But I thought it worked really well. I actually wanted to see more of it, where it went. But I guess the ending is satisfying, I guess, for that segment. Did you guys have any negative ideas about the film, of this segment?
Not really. It was okay. I agree with you. I wish there was a little more. Because
it was good acting by the lead.
Good characters. I liked the characters.
Yeah, I did like...
I didn't like them, but you know what I mean.
Liar. I did like the main bad guy, or I guess the main protagonist of the story, the cult leader, not the cult leader, but the extremist leader.
Yeah, I like
guy.
the part when he's
The guy that
talking
brings the
about
vampire?
getting wasted, but he says it
Yeah.
like all like theological, and then like, and then he
And he
has to
dra-
explain it to them.
And then he drags that other cop in, and I'm like, why would that other cop like literally show his face on camera to be like, yeah, I was part of these psychopaths, these dumbasses. Nobody does that.
Doesn't
shit.
make
Well,
any
I guess
sense.
people can. But yeah, I thought it was good. What rating would you give Terror, Thea?
I would give it 8 out of 10 exploding bunny rabbits.
Danny, what rating would you give Terror?
I would give it, I agree, an 8 out of 10. Spilling a corpse's brains into your mouth and then slipping and falling on your butt as your friend laughs at you.
I would give it an 8 out of 10. Trying to convince, but not really having to convince a man to kiss another man who's bloodied and unconscious. Something's going on with that. So that leads us to the finale of the film, which
boy.
the less said, the better. Which has one of the cops that showed the cop that apparently, I guess it was the cop that showed his face in the other segment.
Yeah, which
He
I
was a
didn't know
police
until they
officer.
said.
He was a police officer, and suddenly
Yeah, I
he's a
didn't know
fucking
either.
SWAT. Suddenly he's a SWAT member.
That's right.
And boy, oh boy, you thought I felt bad for talking shit about the Empty Wake. I actually give 2 more points back to the Empty Wake because it reminded me how terrible this fucking wraparound is. It makes the Veggie Master look like it was necessary. The Veggie Master wasn't horrible.
The Veggie Master was
I found it
wonderful.
pointless.
It was
a
great.
product.
The Empty Wake, now that I think about it, is not that bad compared to this. This ending was so bad, so
Yeah.
fucking unbelievably stupid.
Yeah.
Because I think they try to do some fucking like faux female empowerment shit. I think maybe did a woman direct.
Yes.
Did a woman direct this?
She did,
boy.
yeah.
Thea,
I think it's
talk to
Jennifer
this
Reeder
woman.
was her name.
Is that the one who did XX by any chance? Because I remember thinking the same thing about
No,
that
very,
movie.
very
I never
different.
saw XX. I think we were supposed to do XX a long
The-
time ago.
wasn't?
I
Oh,
watched
actually,
it.
no. Access
And
was
then
something else.
I was like, thank God Danny forgot. But
No, I watched it. It's stupid.
but just in principle, right, Danny? That's what you told me behind.
That's right.
But yeah, so this one
Yes.
ends with these two women who were, and they were very suspect from the beginning, because they were like, one guy got shot, and they're like, that's how it goes, and then at the end, they're like, we're the final girls, and this is the final kill.
And also,
I was
all along the way, we've been creating and distributing like videos that are like snuff films.
It puts
basically.
people in trances, and I was like,
Yeah.
Dan,
So with the
I was
films,
watching.
I didn't understand. So the films like brainwash people to poke out their eyes and be in trances?
I don't know.
I
It doesn't
watched
make
this,
any
Danny.
sense.
Thea,
This
please explain it to me.
Doesn't make any sense. I
This was
can't.
so bad. I was like, geez, even the like Soska sisters aren't this like
Yeah.
cloying. You know what I mean? They're not like, they just make bad movies. They don't do shit like this. Like this was just like, oh my god, this was just like, hey, look at me. I'm so strong. I'm so this. Instead of just making a regular movie with a woman as a monster, they had to do, we're the final girls. This is the final kill. And I was like, and it was just badly acted.
Final countdown.
But it was just like, oh man. And then they just kill the guy by smashing the camera over his face.
Oh boy.
Wouldn't the camera
Really
have
bad.
broken? I mean, they're not made like tanks.
No,
The fucking
certainly
guy's
not.
face was made out of pretzels or something, because that shit
Pretzels.
caved in. I was trying to think of something else. I was like, wet pretzels.
No, I liked it.
But yeah, so it leads to what rating would you give the wraparound, guys?
Oh, boy. Thea?
I'm gonna give it a 1 out of 20 wet pretzel faces.
Danny, what rating would you give the wraparound?
I give it a 2 out of 307.
Very good.
The worst, honestly, maybe the worst acting I've seen in a movie.
It really was bad. It really was pretty bad. I would give it a 2 out of 1,600,000. Being the final girls, and this is our final kill.
I like the way you say it better, actually.
Although it leads to probably, I'm sure Danny must have had a raging boner with that song. With that song that comes on
What
at
song?
the end, dead cops, dead cops, dead cops.
Oh, yeah,
they're part of the
yeah,
clan,
yeah,
dead
that
cops.
was nice.
I just, it was like it was like, you know.
I
what was
did
that movie
actually
with-
think. Wow,
I don't
that's
think
pretty
I stayed
cool.
long enough to hear it.
It was, for me at that moment, it was like that Stephen King novel, where you could touch somebody, you can see their thoughts. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't even have to touch him. I just pictured Danny dancing in the street to that song. But all in all, what would you guys give VHS 94? What rating would you give it, Danny?
I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Instead of making this movie, producers, make another ABCs of Death.
Yes. I would give it a 5.5 out of 10. I think it actually ended strong, but then the actual ending reminded you of how bad it could be.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even think about it. Just wasting my time. Thea, what rating would you give VHS 94 as a whole?
I kind of want to ignore the wraparound because other than that, I didn't mind it. But if we're averaging out the wraparound, then I guess it's a 5. 5 out of 10, gouging my own eyes out.
There you go. And so with that, Thea, what's the final word?
Blintz.
Danny, what's the final word?
Important stuff.
The HorrorDeconstruction.